Good night, brothers and sisters. I'm Bride of Christ 27. I hope you all had a wonderful day today. I know for some of you it might be morning. I don't know, or maybe early in the morning, but it's night for me here. So good night, and good night, brothers and sisters. And to those of you who if it's morning in your country, very early in the morning, good morning as well to you. Um, I would like to share an article with you all from Prophecy News. Sorry, from Prophecy News Watch, right? And it's a very interesting article. And the topic for the article that I want to give you is China's trigger invading Taiwan is the Russian-Ukraine war. China's trigger invading Taiwan is the Russian-Ukraine war. Um, in this article, it gives 10 points why relations with the United States and China are deteriorating. So, as Americans, if you're an American, or this goes for anybody living around the world, what affects America affects the whole world, right? You would want to read this article. I would not list all 10 points. I will just list 4, and I will share the article with you, the link of the article for you in my description inbox so that you could finish reading the article in your spare time. It's worth the read so that you will understand exactly what's in the mind of China in this Russian-Ukraine war, as well as China's impending invasion in Taiwan, right? I would also like to encourage you all to subscribe to Bride of Christ 27. And the reason why I want you all to subscribe is because the Lord has given me a lot of rapture messages to encourage my brothers and sisters in the Lord. And these messages that the Lord has given me, it has encouraged thousands of viewers all around the world, and even my subscribers. And I know those of you who would be viewing this message, if you're curious, take the time, look at my raptor videos. There's one particular raptor video I have based on the rapture shall hit this world like lightning. There's other videos that would also encourage you all, in terms of not getting discouraged because you're not being raptured. The Lord has given me rapture messages to encourage my brothers and sisters in the Lord. I'm a watchwoman on the wall, and I'm also a servant messenger. To those of you who don't know, when I was in the world years ago, the Lord called me back to Him. The Lord brought me back to Himself, and the Lord revealed my purpose to me, and to be a watchwoman on the wall and a servant messenger. And I started my channel in August of 2021, and the Lord has been using me to reach lost souls, to encourage the saints, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a servant of the Most High God, right? So also, I would also like to encourage you all, in my description inbox, there will also be my Telegram channel link. And the reason why I would like my subscribers and also those who would join my channel to subscribe to my Telegram is because I provide accurate breaking news, breaking Middle East news, Israeli news. I also provide prophecy updates. We pray for each other on my Telegram channel. My Telegram channel is not muted, which means you all could communicate with each other. You all could comment, and it's worth joining. I don't post stuff that is not accurate. I post stuff that is accurate, right? So I am a law student as well. So I always would also, I'm a law student as well. So anything that anything that I would do as a law student, just to give you some personal information about myself as a law student, I would want facts, pertinent, accurate information. I would not post fake information to you, right? It will be information that would be accurate, that will be factual. It wouldn't be something that is just untrue, right? So join my Telegram channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? So enough of me. So as I said before, the topic of the article from Prophecy News Watch, well, my topic for this article, when I analyze this article, my topic is China's trigger invading Taiwan is the Russian-Ukraine crisis, right? And I shall begin. China is going to be a central player in the global drama that is going to play out over the next few years. That is if we are here, which is unlikely, I believe, because I believe, and we all believe, that very, very soon Jesus Christ is going to descend, and that trumpet of God is going to sound to welcome us to heaven, right? Since Joe Biden entered the White House, the deterioration of Chinese relations with the United States has accelerated. Meanwhile, Chinese relations with Russia have tightened. So all of a sudden, we see Vladimir Putin and the Chinese Prime Minister taking photos together. They are BFFs. They are buddies. They like bread and butter, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They are so like, they are thicker than thieves. They have a strong bond, all of a sudden they are besties, right? And that should deeply alarm all of us, because these the two alliances between Russia and China is two powerhouses, is two world superpowers, because these two countries combined together doesn't sit well for the United States at all, right? And that's why the article said that should deeply alarm all of us, because now that war has started between Russia and Ukraine, many are deeply concerned that the U.S. could eventually find itself in a direct conflict with a Russian-Chinese alliance. So obviously Russia and China, they already have an alliance, because we are seeing it. We are seeing them together being photographed. It's obvious they would have met. They would have had talks of their agendas. That would have taken place behind closed doors. Come on. Their relations would not have tightened just like that. They would have had to meet to plan their schemes, to plan their agendas. So Russia knew Vladimir Putin is like this. He's like, his mind works like a game of chess. He makes a move, and he wants you to make the wrong move, so he would make the right move. That move he made in Ukraine, I don't believe that was a wrong move. To him, that wasn't a wrong move. I believe it's a wrong move to do that, because Ukraine did not deserve to be invaded like that. But to Vladimir Putin, in his mind, in his twisted mind, that was a right move for him in the game of chess. And he knows why he made that move. And he knew that he would be sanctioned. And that is why his relations with China tightened, because he knew China would provide him with weaponry, with aid, with resources, and he knew that China will provide him with whatever he needs, because he has received thousands of sanctions, right? So they met behind closed doors. They had an audience. They had a meeting. They knew what they were doing. They are not foolish. These are two communist countries. They know exactly how to control their own people, and they know exactly how to play with people's minds. But they can't play with my mind or the minds of the believers, because we have the mind of Christ and we have discernment, right? Oh, also, okay, to continue, Jake Sullivan and other foreign policy officials in the Biden administration desperately want China to denounce the Russian invasion of Ukraine and to participate in economic sanctions against Russia. But neither of those things is going to happen, and this is making Biden's foreign security minions very angry. Of course, the Chinese have their own agenda. They are watching how Western powers are responding to Russia very closely, because the Chinese believe that it will give them clues about how the Western powers will behave when they will pull the trigger on an invasion of Taiwan. So remember remember the article of the art. Do you remember the topic of the article from Prophecy News Watch? Well, my article, not my article, but the topic, China's trigger invading Taiwan is the Russian-Ukraine war. That is China's trigger. That is going to be the trigger for China to invade Taiwan. And China is not going to wait later to do it. I believe China is going to do that very, very soon. China is going to invade Taiwan whilst the Russian-Ukraine war is taking place. They are watching closely and analyzing every single thing that how Western powers behave. And when the time is right, very soon they're gonna pull the trigger and they are going to invade Taiwan, right? And an invasion of Taiwan is most certainly coming sooner or later, and I believe it's coming sooner. In fact, the Chinese likely understand that they have now been given a tremendous window of opportunity for a couple of reasons. So this Russian-Ukraine crisis, I believe that it didn't just happen just like that. I believe that China and Russia sat down and they talked about every single thing that will benefit both of them. Russia invading Ukraine, China invading Taiwan. Each of them have their agendas, but at the end of the day, each of them get what they want. So as the article stated, in fact, the Chinese likely understand that they have now been given a tremendous window of opportunity for a couple of reasons. Number one, events in Afghanistan and Ukraine have exposed the weakness of American leadership. If the Chinese are going to launch an invasion, they will almost certainly want to do it before Joe Biden is voted out in 2024. And let me state this, right? How Joe Biden and his administration handled the events in Afghanistan where the Taliban is concerned, it showed weakness on the part of the Biden administration, and the whole world saw the U.S. government's weakness. The whole world saw weakness. China saw it, and all of America's enemies, they all saw it. They all saw weakness. And China saw it as well, and that is why China, and that is what emboldened China to make plans to invade Taiwan. And the same goes for North Korea. The same goes for Iran, right? When your enemy smells blood, they will not attack you right away. They will analyze every single move you make. And when the time is right, then they will strike and they will attack you, right? They will attack you when you are most vulnerable, right? They will attack you when you are unaware, when your hands are full, your plate is so full that you are focused on something that you would not have time to see the enemy is coming. The enemy is right behind your shoulders, right? And also, I don't believe that Joe Biden is going to be voted out in 2024. As much as I want him to be voted out because he cheated his way into the White House with the help of big tech and the globalists. That's why they got rid of Trump, because Trump didn't want to ride the train with them for their Build Back Better slogan, right? I don't believe he's going to be voted out because the globalists love power. And in loving power, they are not going to give that up. They're going to cheat again to win. And the globalist has to be in power. No, you know why? Because they are being used by the devil to set the stage for the coming Antichrist system. End time Bible prophecy has to take place. And as much as many will have, as many patriots would want, and conservatives would want, and Republicans would want Trump back in office, it's not going to happen. End time Bible prophecy has to be fulfilled, and there has to be a president in the White House that is supported by the globalists, and who supports the globalists, and that person is Joe Biden. It all comes down to biblical end time Bible prophecy. It has nothing to do with who you want in the White House. It has to do with how God sees it and God's plan and end time Bible prophecy being fulfilled, right? Secondly, the attention of the Western world is on Ukraine right now. So if China invades, the air of the Western world will be split between both Russia and China. And since the US will be forced to maintain a strong military presence in Europe to protect NATO allies, it would make it even less likely that the US would be able to intervene effectively in Taiwan. So that's why I stated China's trigger invading Taiwan is the Russian-Ukraine war, because China knows that if China knows now is the time to invade Taiwan whilst that Russian-Ukraine war is taking place, China knows now is their opportunity to invade Taiwan while the Russian war is taking place, because they know that the US will be forced to maintain a strong military presence in Europe to protect NATO allies. And they know that the United States will not be able to intervene effectively to help Taiwan. So that is why I said why China and Russia their relations became so tightened, because they all know very well what their agendas are and what they want to accomplish in their agendas, right? Unlike the situation in Ukraine before the war, a diplomatic solution with China simply will not be possible, right? The Chinese believe that Taiwan is Chinese territory, just like Russia believes that Ukraine is Russian territory, and they are absolutely determined to bring it back under their control one way or the other. The same with Russia. Russia wants to get rid of the Zelensky's administration and also his family. Russia wants to bring in a new government to rule Ukraine, to seek Russia's agenda. The same with China, right? The only question is timing. And the timing has never been better than it is now. And that timing, I know, is very, very soon. The following are 10 signs that I told you all about that US relations with China are deteriorating, and that an invasion of Taiwan is drawing near. Number one, Jake Sullivan is warning that China will not go unpunished if it helps Russia get around US economic sanctions. That was like I told you before, that was the plan all along with China and Russia. Russia knew that Vladimir Putin knew that he was going to be sanctioned. So that's why he's relying on China, because he and China made a deal. Right? China will not go unpunished if it helps Russia evade economic sanctions. enacted in response to its invasion of Ukraine. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Sunday on CNN. The White House official made it clear that such actions would absolutely have consequences for Beijing and explained that the U.S. is closely monitoring any and all support China is currently providing Russia. Number 2, Hu Zhaijing is a very important figure in China, and he is very close to officials at the very top of the Chinese government. In response to Jake Sullivan's threats, he stated that Sullivan is going to be disappointed. Hu Zhaijing, former editor-in-chief of the state-backed Chinese Global Times newspaper, said on Twitter, quote, "If Sullivan thinks he can persuade China to participate in sanctions against Russia, he will be disappointed," end quote. So like I said, China is not going to turn against Russia because they are besties now. They made a deal. They made a deal. Number 3, U.S. officials are accusing Russia of asking China for military equipment for the war in Ukraine. Russia has turned to China for military equipment and aid in the weeks since it began its invasion of Ukraine. U.S. officials familiar with the matter told the Washington Post. The officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the subject did not describe what kind of weaponry had been requested or whether they know how China responded. And like I said before, Russia and China, they already talked about all of that behind closed doors, that China would provide Russia with enough equipment so that Russia would have enough equipment to keep ponging Ukraine, to keep the war going. They made a deal. Number 4, the Chinese responded to this new U.S. accusation very bluntly. According to Reuters, when asked about claims that Russia is requesting military help from China, the spokesperson for China's embassy in Washington responded, "I've never heard of that." And I would respond by saying to that spokesperson for China, to China's embassy, lies. Russia and China met behind closed doors, and they all talked about their schemes and how China would provide Russia with, how the Prime Minister of China promised Russia he would provide Russia with equipment to aid Russia in the war against Ukraine, because obviously your ammunition is going to run out. So that means Russia is in it for the long haul. Russia wants that war going as long as it takes to give. So here's the scheme. The longer the war lasts between Ukraine and Russia, gives China the opportunity to invade Taiwan whilst the war in Russia and Ukraine is taking place, because they know, Russia and China know, that the U.S. is going, as I stated, they know that the U.S. will be forced to maintain a strong military presence in Europe to protect NATO allies, and it will be less likely for the U.S. to intervene to help Taiwan effectively. So this is the end of the article. I will share the link to the article in the description inbox for you all to finish reading the article, right? And please subscribe to Bride of Christ 27, join my Telegram channel. I assure you will not be disappointed, because what I do for God, I do it 100%, and I do it for His honor and glory. So may God richly bless you all. Shalom.